Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Hello again, and welcome back to the W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking? Today we're thinking about the last best thing we saw, read, wrote, or created. I'll let you kick this off, Tracy.
So for me, let's start with something I guess wrote/created. And it was a presentation on embracing diversity, creating a cultural comfort zone. And it was specifically designed for counselors, for therapists, and helping them not just thinking about diversity from the sense of what we typically race, ethnicity, gender, but being able to stretch it and help them see all the ways in which clients are diverse, and to help them look at their biases that they have when it comes to certain populations, looking at stereotypes, and helping them know that as long as you are still using your clinical skills, that you have to be willing to educate yourself. And there were a few things that, we talked about a lot of the terminology that some of them may not have been familiar with, things like colorism, cisgender, gender expression, pansexual, and helping them get up to speed on what those things mean and how they should not just opt out of working with a client based upon a population that they happen to be a part of. And one of the biggest things I wanted them to focus on is when you're working with someone, don't focus on the population, focus on the problem they're bringing in, and then help them find a solution to that problem. Because one of the counselors talked about how there was a gay couple who was getting a divorce, and he leads with his faith, and he was concerned that he went to his supervisor, was like, I don't think I can work with this couple because, they're gay. And the supervisor was like, yes, you can. You can work with them. You work with other couples that were divorcing. This will be no different. And what did he find out? It was no different, because they were dealing with custody issues. They were dealing with, some, financial, typical things that you deal with in a divorce. The smart thing was they chose to come into counseling to address it instead of letting it just be this divisive thing that they had to deal with on their own. So, it ended up not being an issue. But sometimes we get so wrapped up in what you think you're ill-equipped to handle that you don't allow yourself to learn, grow, and expand. I know as a clinician, I have had to look up rap artists because I had a teenage client that was into W.A.I.T. I didn't know W.A.I.T was from nobody. I didn't know. I had to look up heavy metal lyrics for a client. That was my way to bridge that gap, to be able to help that client and work with them. Am I into heavy metal? No. Am I into certain rappers? No. But I educated myself so that I could bridge that gap to work with those young people. I have a client that says, I'm not on social media. And the first thing the client mentioned was being on Instagram and this happening. And I don't know anything about that. I said, so then you learn. You don't have to go open a social media account to learn about social media and what's popular and how the kids communicate on it and whatever. So So that was one of the best things and that I most recently worked on or created that I wanted to share about.
Okay. Let's see. So I'll talk about what I've created. I've been working on a romance series.
Ooh.
And so far I've written 3 books in the series.
Okay.
The plan this summer was to write the 4th. I'm working on that one right now.
Okay.
Stuck on prologue, but we're going to get past that. I
share about a couple of characters in the series.
The series is called Heart and Soul.
Okay.
Play on words.
Mm-hmm.
The girls, their family is spelled Seoul, like Seoul, Korea.
Oh.
And heart is spelled H-A-R-T, not H-E-A-R-T. So Heart and Soul.
Okay.
It's kind of like that typical romance. The Hart family, very, very wealthy family. Mm-hmm. The Soul family academics. Mm-hmm. And so as they begin merging, it's the eldest daughter that meets the father of the Hart family, and he's into her, and the series is off and running.
Okay.
As a writer, I always, in romance, you can either rush to the bedroom
mm-hmm.
or you can write a story. I like writing a story.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then, very rarely,
mm-hmm.
do I read my reviews and comments, because it can mess with your head. It really can mess with your head. And it took me a while to learn that you're going to have some people that get it, and you're going to have those that don't, and they're going to slam you. And there is power in that computer. They can type some nasty stuff. And that also, after I started writing, taught me, don't write nasty stuff. And I don't do that. But someone wrote that it was a cute story. She was actually commenting on the 3rd book, and the one thing that she liked was that it was an actual story behind it, and it wasn't just the race to the bedroom.
Oh, cool.
And when a reader gets that, I feel that
your job was done. You
did
it.
If I can just connect with one person, I have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. So that's something that I've created and continue to create and working on this summer.
Okay. Now, one of the best things that I recently saw. So I would say, that's a tough one. What's the best thing? Well, of course, I love Severance, so that's definitely one. But we've talked about that. And I'm gonna say the other thing that I recently saw that I really enjoyed was it was on Netflix, and
was it a movie or a series?
It was a series, and it's called My Unorthodox Life.
Okay.
And the character is Julia Hart. Well, I don't say character because she is the person. Mm-hmm. And and people may be familiar with it because I was late to the game. It's only one season out there. And she came from a very strict Jewish community. One of the ones, the town is escaping me right now, but it's in the New York area. One where they marry young. They every TV is bad, very strict, and she had how many kids? Four kids. Yeah, 2 boys and 2 girls. And she had just recently married her oldest daughter off when she, I can't say all of a sudden, I suppose it was a journey she was going on, and she decided she no longer believed what she had been raised to believe and had taught her children to believe their entire lives. And so she leaves the family, and her, initially, I want to say just her younger daughter may have left with her, or at some point came with her, because she had the same kind of spirit as her mom, where she questioned everything. Why can't we wear pants? Why can't we do this? Everything she questioned. And I think she left with the mom initially. She had a younger son that she still shares custody with the dad, who's still in the community. She had more of a rocky relationship with the oldest daughter because she had just married her off. So this daughter has bought into it enough so she was mad at her mom, because it's like, you raised me to believe this. I'm married, and now you are telling me none of this is real or true or whatever. And so when we get to come in on the story, all of that has happened, and we meet them where the mom is remarried to this really, the mom herself, how she was able to leave, she started a business. And I want to say it was kind of on the secret side. I don't know if her husband knew she had started this business.
Okay.
And it was something, she was always into fashion and design, and it became very lucrative. She got enough credibility where she was able to, they started a model. I don't know if she married the guy and they already had the modeling agency, but Elite Models, that's their company. Elite Global or something like that. But
that really would have had to have been in secret if she's living
not the model part. Now that started when she left.
Okay.
The little fashion thing is what she started, I think, in secret, and I think that helped her have the money to be able to leave and start on her own, get her own place. And so she's remarried to this, I think, Italian guy, and they're living this lavish life. They have this huge $1 billion company. Her son-in-law and daughter have left. They don't live in the community anymore either, but her son-in-law definitely is still more connected to the beliefs. Her other children are kind of living outside as well. The one son still kind of does some of the things and semi-believes. It's almost like some of them have one foot in this world and one foot in that world. And it's just very interesting to watch them on this journey where the mom is trying to, and sometimes overcompensate for the fact that she got them to believe this stuff and now she no longer believes. The youngest son, she paid for him to go to this summer camp. And it's a summer camp that's attached to the faith, which I'm like, why didn't you think about this before? So he's getting re-indoctrinated. So she had kind of gotten him to watch TV. He had a girlfriend, all the stuff. He comes back from the summer camp and it's like
fully indoctrinated.
And she's like, I paid for this camp. Why did I pay to send him there and for them to do this? So she sets about trying to help him realize that everything is not bad and a sin. And her husband, who even though he still was in the faith, was a big help in this by kind of letting him know it's okay to talk to girls. It's okay. And I was really proud of him as a father to not feel like he had to like have a battle with her over this is the belief system and all that. And I kind of see why a little towards the end, because Daddy got him a woman. And so he found him a new partner and they were talking marriage and the whole family. She invites, she didn't tell her kids, but she invited the father and the new lady to dinner and, unorthodox, as it says, my unorthodox life. And so she said, if I can embrace this, that'll help the kids embrace it. So I thought it was just I didn't agree with everything the way she did it, but it was a very smart adult way to handle some of the dynamics. And she did get picked up for a season 2. But in season 2, it's my understanding that she now is on her second divorce, and that this $1 billion company that they co-own, that the husband, I don't know what happened, because I know part of it is she worked a lot, and he very much was vying for her time. And she did a decent job of trying to be it. So I don't know what, obviously after tape stopped rolling, more happened. And I want to think that oldest daughter might even be divorced from her husband now. So it'll be interesting to see what season 2 brings. But she has written a book called Brazen something with her, and she was talking about writing the book and letting her kids read the draft of the book near the end of that season. But now the book is apparently out, and so she's out promoting it. And that's how I learned about the series. So is she Jewish? She is Jewish.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
They are Jewish, and they were very much the Orthodox Jews. I don't know what she believes now or what box she's checking. Like I said, at least her oldest son and her younger son are definitely still tied to the faith in some way. But I think also that the ex-husband has now left the community with his new person. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. And she had, during the episode, a person that was still there reached out to her asking for help and advice on how to get out herself. So it was very interesting. Yeah, my unorthodox life. And yes, it was very unorthodox. It was.
Let's see. I've been playing catch up with a lot of things. But the most recent series that I caught up on is called Raised by Wolves.
Oh.
On Max, HBO Max.
Okay. I'm going to check that out. Okay.
So it's 2 seasons of it. In the first season, you are introduced to these 2 androids that were sent to this whole other planetary system because the Earth is like just doomed. I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. And so it begins with this male android and female android.
Do they look human?
They look human.
Okay.
And the female android has been equipped with 6 ports so that she can plug embryos into her port and nourish them. So the person that sent them to this planet was an atheist, and he wanted them to raise these children as atheists, and that they were to repopulate the planet.
Wow.
Okay.
Do we know what planet this is supposedly on?
A solar. I'm thinking if it is an actual planet, it's in a solar system that
we don't know.
about. Okay. So what actually has happened on Earth? A war broke out, and you had a faction that were atheists, and then another faction that they believed in a god called Sol, S-O-L.
Okay.
And they were fighting. The atheists wanted to reclaim the planet, and the Sol people, they just wanted to leave and go off and create their own.
Okay.
Almost like the Puritans that left Europe. Okay. But what they didn't know was that the atheists had sent these robots to the exact same planet.
Oh, how mean.
Right.
Why can't you just let them
go to the exact same planet?
Oh, wow.
So,
and they've been there like how far in advance?
They were there, let's see, the youngest of the 6 children, 5 of the 6 children, 5 died, and only 1 was left. And while they were playing,
they were born.
Or they were born. She gave birth to them. They raised them,
live.
And they died off because it was. They didn't understand that some of the things on the planet were radioactive, and the children were eating these things.
Oh my God.
And by the time they figured it out, it was one that was left. He was the strongest. He survived. So they just had this one.
Okay.
And when the atheists arrive on the planet, they know that this is an android. She tells the little boy, "Don't tell them I'm an android," but they know.
When the
soul people. When the soul people arrive,
right.
So they feel that it is their job to get this child away from her.
How old is the child?
The child, he was about 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So all of his life, he had been taught that religion is a false fantasy. It's not, but even as a child, he was curious, and he felt, but there has to be something. But the father, that particular android, said, "Don't ever talk that way around mother. She will be upset." So anyway, jumping to season 2. Season 2 is where it really gets good, because the atheists, because they also wanted to get off the planet, they hijacked one of the arcs that belonged to the soul people.
Oh my God.
And because it's pre-programmed with the destination, that took them to this planet. So they arrive and they capture the remaining soul people that were there, because when they arrived, they were ill-equipped first off to be on the planet.
Right.
And by the way, Mother, that android, she actually what is called a necromancer.
Okay.
So she can kill people with a sonic blast of her voice. She was created by the soul people, but the atheist person took her and reprogrammed her.
Oh, wow.
So she actually goes to the Ark ship of the soul people, because her 5 babies died, and she was reprogrammed to be a mother.
Right.
She killed everybody on the ship, kidnapped these kids, and took them down to the planet. So it is just, I've had to rewatch the series a couple of times, because it's just so much going on.
Okay.
But looking at it, and it's called Raised by Wolves, it's just a kind of this horrific look at mankind and how we can't just allow each other to be right.
And the thing is, it touches on the oldest reason for war. Religion.
Yeah.
Religion. And if we think about, kind of part of what the storyline in our book series, it is a similar thread in there.
It is
a similar thread in there.
Yeah.
So, it's very, 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 very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
right.
A good one.
All right. So, thank you for listening to The Last Best Thing That We Saw, Read, Wrote, or Created. And Lori's was her romance book series, Heart and Soul, as well as the series Raised by Wolves. And mine was a presentation on Embrace Diversity, Creating a Cultural Comfort Zone, as well as my Unorthodox Life. So you have learned a little bit more about Lori and I during this, in that we are both writers and also trainers and presenters. And so, you can also reach out to us if you want to have us to do something for you all, or if you want to know more about that part of what we do. Please make a comment. Please continue to share and subscribe, and just continue to make sure you come back and listen to the W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking? Thank you.